It's so difficult to believe that Puneeth Rajkumar, who woke up every morning to do his workouts, would eat clean, ensure that he had a diet and a strict fitness regime that he would follow regularly. Hail or storm, the man followed his fitness to the T. A person like that, a great human being, we lost so soon. How would you remember Puneeth Rajkumar today?
We are all in shock. I mean, it's unbelievable. We're all flabbergasted, and it's indeed a cruel twist of fate. The Kannada film industry, Karnataka, India has lost a great, talented actor, and most importantly, as you rightly pointed out, a very, very good human being.
It's crazy. Yesterday we were in a friend's birthday party. I walk in at 8:45, Appu comes at 9:45. We are stuck with each other till 11:15. Me, my wife, Appu and Ashwini, his wife. We were talking about so many things. He was opening about so many things. He was showing about his dream project which he had taped. He took me to the balcony and showed me his mobile and said, "Sir, this is what I've done. I want to show it." And he showed me something that he had done about forests in Karnataka, and he had some dream about it. We were talking about our own domestic things and about our daughters and sons, and he was so warm. So there was not even the smallest signal that this man is not going to be with us tomorrow.
It was not just the loss of a superstar, but it was a loss of a person who was so humble, and his personality was so sort of, it was amazing to see a person who was like that, you see.
This is, obviously he belongs to the first family of Kannada film industry, but he himself was a huge mega star. Yeah. He's somebody who did 29 movies in a leading role, and out of which 26 were super blockbusters. So you can understand the ratio of his success.
Puneeth Rajkumar was not just a great actor. He was an amazing singer. In fact, he sang for young actors, upcoming actors who were just getting into the industry. Just lending his voice to them made a lot of difference. And apart from that, he was a super dancer. And he was a complete kind of a artist, If he was a director's dream, directors like me would love to work with him. In fact, I was supposed to work with him. Rockline Venkatesh had offered me a film with Puneeth Rajkumar, and it's very sad now. I can't even express in words.
When one says there is a climate emergency facing India and the world, is one being alarmist in your view, or is it that the political class and many citizens have simply not realized the gravity of the situation? Do you agree there is a climate emergency that faces India and the world?
Yes, I agree on two things with everyone who's seeing this. One is, of course, there is a climate emergency. We're in the midst of it. And two, the time to act is now, if not yesterday. If you look at events around the world, be it what happened in Seattle a couple of months ago, or Australia, or even Germany with the flash floods, or UK, closer back home in Uttarakhand or Kerala, or even in Maharashtra. These are not anomalies anymore. These are not erratic weather patterns. There is a certain pattern to this, and this is climate change. Mumbai itself as a city, and both of us talk about it whenever there is heavy monsoon, but for the last 3 years, individually we faced more than 3,000 mm of rain per year. Now that is a huge amount of rain for the city of Mumbai.
Things are bad. Climate change is going to get worse. We are already seeing extreme weather events hit all parts of the world. Country like India is even more vulnerable because we have very large numbers of very poor people who live at the margins of survival. Also, remember, for us, climate change is not the only cause of the devastation. It's always a double whammy. So when you get a cloudburst in the Himalayas, it is extremely devastating, and we've already seen the kind of loss of lives that we've had in Kerala, in Uttarakhand, in Darjeeling, just in the last 15 days. But this is on top of the mismanagement that we are doing of our own environment.
I think the immediate impact will be felt most by those who don't have air conditioners, air purifiers, and other ways of protecting themselves from these climate hazards. But I also want to say that the immediate impact is being felt even in the Western countries. The US had 18 disasters last year of $1 billion or more. Germany had to put 30 billion euros for just a single flood event. So this is something that is already being felt all over the world in very stark economic terms.
There was a time when there was something called climate skepticism. At least now we are sure that the days of climate skepticism is over. So everyone believes that the climate is in serious crisis and we are being impacted adversely. There are scientific reports by all over the world which have established that the climate crisis is deepening.
We know we've got 12 of the 15 most polluted cities in the world are in India.
Yes.
That's not a good thing to have. So we've got climate on one hand, and we've got pollution and environment on another. And then on the third hand, of course, we've got this pandemic which has been going on. So that's not a great thing for India. That's where we need to really start attacking it from multiple angles. And we need to be very aggressive when it comes down to these factors.
Are India-China relations headed for a deeper freeze? Are there also apprehensions of skirmishes along the line of actual control in times to come?
There are a whole lot of laws being produced in China in the course of last year and a half. That's a systemic change happening. It's a new environment altogether. When you take this environment, then there is a land law which came up following what happened in the maritime law, which came, which was effective some time ago. Now, if you see the land law, of course, the issue is where is the border? Which boundary are we talking about?
Exactly.
We don't have a decided border or boundary between us and China. Every time we decide a boundary and a border, how can we talk about having a border law and sovereignty and territorial integrity when all is nebulous in character?
Absolutely.
Nebulous character. How do we say which land border or boundary are we talking about?
Give China the discretion. They have basically appropriated the discretion of presenting a territorial dispute as a sovereignty issue, Gaurav. That is the crux of the matter. Now, the moment you give it the garb of a sovereignty issue, you harden your stance and say that, look, this is a question of sovereignty. I mean, so they have toughened their stances, they have made it, the negotiations more complicated. And if I were to add, what they have done is they have taken a leaf out of the American book, where in the US also, you bring in a domestic legislation which takes precedence over other agreements, covenants, international bilateral treaties, and say, well, this is our law. So this is the aggressive stance of China. It's a serious matter. It goes much beyond the current territorial issue or the standoff that we are facing.